Hello.
Hey everyone.
Hello. Hello.
Hi. Hey Angie, you know if Sophie's joining?
I don't think so. She may try. I have not heard from her this morning. Let me see. I can try to ask her, but I don't believe so. I think she said last night that she wouldn't be available or would have light availability these next 3 days.
Okay, that's fine. Did you want to provide a Python SDK update in this meeting or we just stay until next week too?
I can if need be. I don't mind. Let me pull up that window. I guess
Yeah, I
I'll
mean
just
doesn't have to be anything crazy, just like I don't know, a minute or so of just like what's been going on.
yeah.
I think we're gonna try and start doing that.
Yeah, that's fine. I guess I'll give it another minute or so to see if anybody else joins. I did post it in the Discord, so let me
Yeah.
see if we got anything back from some people. Okay, that one, that's for later. Uh,
All right, I'll probably go ahead and get started. I think looks like maybe more people are filtering in, but yeah, it's 4 minutes past the hour now, so let's get this going. Welcome everyone. It's the SDK community call. On the agenda today, we have our SDK updates. Each SDK is gonna just give a rundown of what we've been working on, what we're looking to implement next, the blockers, all that stuff. And then I had one other topic about issue labels. Um, And yeah, so we can go ahead and get started. I guess I can go ahead and go first. So um, we can present on the Swift SDK here. So we got a couple things going on here. The big one I'd say is we're looking to add Swift 6 support in the coming weeks. So up until now, we've only been supporting a minimum version of 5.6, and we've been testing in our CI up to 5.10. But a lot, well, those are probably like, I don't know, like 1.5, 2 years old now. So we're going to look to upgrade to Swift 6, which Apple has been requiring for their App Store submissions anyways for the past couple months. Well, almost a full year now. We've been requiring it since April last year. So this will be coming out. We'll support this or start supporting this officially in 2 weeks. I think the announcement is going to be February 2nd, and that'll be release 0.47 for Swift. Um, so any developers working on that can look for that. Um, some other implementation I've added here. We got it caught up in our added TCK missing TCK endpoints. That's Swift has been a little bit behind on TCK, but and there's still a couple more that we have to add, but for the most part, we're pretty caught up. I think the only ones we have to add are the schedule transactions and the node transactions. But once those are added in, we'll be fully up to date. And there are several bugs here that we found when we were implementing this. So yep, so those new features there. Did some CI version updates, new versions of Solo and Mirror Node have been coming out, so we've updated there. Then HIP 1195 with the changes that Consensus Node has made. We have went ahead and changed the API names to accompany those changes. So whenever that's implemented and good to go in Consensus Node, which I believe is going to be version 70 or 0.70, um, we can go ahead and look to merge those and make those features available. Any questions on Swift? All right, cool. Look at C++ next. C++ been getting a lot of action this week. We really went ahead and started really pushing the good first issues initiative. We've had a lot of good first issues opened. You see we have a good amount here. Most of them have been assigned. I believe we've closed maybe about three or four here. Yeah, just within the past couple weeks here. Um, yeah, this has been getting a lot of action, which is great. New developers are coming in, making contributions, getting familiar with the code base. Um, and we love to see that. So now it's a matter of making sure that we have enough issues for new contributors to keep coming, and not only having just good first issues, but having enough beginner level issues too, which are a step up to allow new contributors to gain more knowledge about the code base and try a little bit more difficult issues, and hopefully continue to make contributions. Um, so yeah, so for C++, that's mostly what we've been doing. Again, the action is looking good, so we'll be figuring out how we wanna maintain this, and yeah, just keep this going. Um, So that's it for me. For HIP 1261, did you guys want to go buy each SDK, or did you all want to give updates on this, Ivilo and Benelin and everyone?
Yeah. So Oh, sorry. Well, do you want to speak about the 1261 because I think you finished it.
Yes, yes. So basically, HIP 1261 is currently in PR state, like the CI is passing, but since the mirror node endpoint for simple fees is currently a dummy endpoint, it's not actually integrated already with the consensus node. It doesn't make sense to merge it, so we are probably dependent on the next stack of the mirror node.
Hmm. Is this just for JS or is Java Go in the same spot?
I'm not sure I'm speaking for JavaScript.
Okay.
I think for Java, Vanko reworked it. He was using the gRPC implementation, but then he implemented it in with the REST API. And as far as I know, he should be in the same state as us. Yeah, he can't merge it because it throws dummy data, so it doesn't make sense for us to release it to the community because yeah, it will show wrong data to the users.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure about the state in C++ and Go.
Um,
Uh,
as sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I think actually he worked in Go. In Java, I'm not sure. In Java, I almost should say. Sorry, I was confused for a second.
Mhm. Yeah, no worries. What about Rust? Has Rust been making progress on this?
I'm not sure if you have made any progress in Rust. Maybe I can ask Georgie, but currently Georgie isn't available. He's in another meeting. So yeah,
Mhm.
maybe I can ask and I will update you.
Okay. Um, and then the Pectra update.
Yeah. So for Spectra, I made a design proposal. Yeah, maybe um, uh, uh,
Do you
we,
want to
we,
share?
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Give me a second. So basically, the Spectra upgrade is a new type of transaction. This is the type 4 transaction. Um, and also, give me a second. So this is the new transaction. It has these properties. It's basically the same as type 2 with this additional property, authorization list. And there are two updated APIs. The account create and account update has two properties. Has one property delegation address with a setter and a getter in both of these transactions. So yeah, account create has a new set and get delegation address, and account update has the same one. Yeah, it's currently reviewed this design proposal. I think Vanko approved it today, and Rob raised some comments. I will probably address them today. I made a PR about this HIP 1340 in the JS SDK, so we are like halfway there because I implemented the setters and the getters and the type for transaction. But yeah, we don't have a tag for it. So basically, the CI can't pass right now. As far as I know, this Ethereum Type 4 transaction will be supported in the consensus node in um, 0.72 version of the consensus node, and we're currently in 0.69, I think. So yeah, we don't have a tag where we can run the CI. Yeah, so this is basically the update about Spectra. I'm not sure if there are any questions. I can answer them.
So this is going to be, um, if it's not getting released till 72, this might be sitting in PR for a while then.
Yeah, basically it will be the same as the mutable topics. Probably will be sitting in the backlog for a while. But
Mhm.
yeah, this is as far as I know, 072 is the earliest they will be releasing it. The guy said that the more reasonable date is the more reasonable version is 073. So yeah, I think 073 is somewhere in March or even April. Not sure.
Mhm. Great. Yeah, any questions for JavaScript? Cool. And I guess that have has I guess like Java and Go been kind of working on the same things generally, the 1261 and Pectra update.
Yeah, for the Pectra one, I think Emu has made some progress there too, and he successfully executes the new type of transaction. It's the same with Go. Uh, so both Java and Go execute the new type for transactions. They just haven't added the new properties in the account create and account update because this is not finalized. I just wanted to make some work to basically to play around with the new fields. Um, yeah, they will probably make a PR with these new fields when we merge this proposal.
Awesome.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, any questions for any of the SDKs from anyone? All right, sounds good. So the only other topic on the agenda today was something I just kind of had an idea about. I know we've been kind of pushing good first issues and gradually rolling them out over our SDKs. So obviously it started with Python and now we got C++ up and rolling with kind of the same workflow. And I was kind of thinking forward to um, when we start rolling this out across all our SDKs over time, and just the idea of kind of a consistent look and kind of consistent, I guess I don't know if workflow is the correct word, but like the idea of a developer, a new developer coming in, being able to go contribute to JavaScript and then go to contribute to Python. And in general, just the idea of picking up a good first issue and it being as seamless as possible. And even if you kind of learn the process in one repo, you're able to go to the other and it pretty much works the exact same way. Um, I think kind of having that kind of um, ease of use for contributors that may want to contribute to multiple SDKs would be beneficial. And I had this idea of looking to maybe standardize our issue labels across SDKs. So obviously, this would only really be like, or at least my thought would be this would only be like the base set of issue labels. So, things like, good first issue, beginner, intermediate, advanced, new feature, documentation, all that stuff. But then obviously, SD or different repos could add on top of that with their own, labels that maybe they want to use as well. Maybe you have like specific build system labels. Mm, can't think of any other off the top of my head, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to see um, if this would be something that SDKs would be interested in kind of like conforming to a standardized set of labels. Um, and yeah, kind of encouraging that ease of use and kind of just similar look of SDKs across each other. And again, I know like we're implementing these good first issues, and in general, the guidelines for good first issues are going to be relatively similar. I can't imagine there'll be any huge changes or differences but between SDKs for that. But the I think going along with that, having a similar look and feel to how work can be assigned, and I think labels are a good part of that. Is could be important. So my thought was initially I might come up with like a guidelines doc that we can put in the SDK hub which would define this kind of standard label set, colors, descriptions, all that. And then we could roll this out separately, or we could roll this out with, you know, with the good first issues when new repos start to pick them up, and get those going. Yeah, Keith.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, Robert. Although I would say it's more broad. We need consistency around good first issues across all Hiero repos, not just SDKs. So, it should be the same across all the Hieros. And I thought, I think we both saw, Hendrix working on a document. I thought that was like the next step of that document was, yeah, ensuring that consistency across all repos.
hmm Yeah, I mean, like obviously, we can only speak from an SDK standpoint, and I guess I kind of see, or at least kind of how Hendrik has made the impression to me was the SDK is kind of, or the SDKs are kind of like the initial playground, I suppose you'd call it, for figuring out how we want to do good first issues, how we want to, implement these workflows for new contributors, and stuff like labels as well. So yeah, I mean, if we wanted to start here and then when other repos, not necessarily SDK repos, want to um, kind of copy what we're doing or use us as an example for how they want to run, their good first issues and contribution workflows. That'd be great. Um, but yeah, I guess just for now, I'm just thinking just from an SDK standpoint. But yeah, again, like if we do this and then other repos want to copy it, that's great. Yeah, so if anybody has, any thoughts or comments on that, I'm probably gonna, yeah, go ahead and open up a kind of template or guidelines doc for this in the SDK hub. Just give a little bit of description and then what I think a good initial set of standardized labels could be. Again, with the names, the color hex, and the descriptions for them. And yeah, we can get reviews on that and SDKs can start conforming to that whenever they want. Any questions, guidance, or comments about that? Cool. Well, that's all we had on the agenda for today. Oh, Keith, go ahead.
Yeah, just one more topic. On uh, I had posted about moving all of the SDK repos so that when they on the READMEs when they talk about local environment, they reference solo and not local node. Now I saw that you opened up something for C++ and one of the other repos, but is this a change we can make across all the repos?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what were the other repos? I think it was uh Rust
Like
and
Go.
the DK. Oh, okay, yeah.
So
Yeah, maybe
I could put up I could put up tickets in those repos, but yeah, I just wondered if there's any. I actually what I was wondering is there any are all the SDKs work okay with Solo? I mean, is there any reason why an SDK couldn't point to Solo?
I know C++, Swift, and the TCK have had no problems with it. I don't think any of the others have either, but I'll let them chime in.
Okay, so for the JavaScript SDK, last week I've implemented some changes regarding the streamlining the local development with Solo. So previously it pointed to the local node, and now there is like Solo development dependency in the SDK. So there are some startup scripts that lets potential contributors run the integration test and have the actual setup that is in the CI. So it's deterministic. If the test pass locally, they pass in the CI, because this was not the case previously, and that's a great improvement there.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah, we definitely want to get uh, or move everything from local node to solo. I think in general we have, but yeah, I think Keith's mentioning even references in like the README and stuff like that. We want to get those out of there so new contributors aren't confused maybe. Yeah, I think Keith, if you wanted to go ahead and open issues in the repos as just sort of like you know, if there's references to local node, remove them or replace them with solo. If not, then we're good. Something like that. I think would be good.
Okay, great, thank you.
Cool. Angie?
Hi everyone, good morning. Just wanted to give a quick update on the Python SDK. We are expanding with the GFI initiative quite nicely, I would like to add. We do have a lot of contributors, so we are continuously having to make issues. So if anybody is interested in getting on board with the Python SDK, or if you're new here and you want to join in, we're always happy to have you. Uh, Beyond that, we have closed a few good issues. We've closed a couple of intermediate and advanced. Want to say the last thing we closed, let me just double check, would have been, yep, so good first issues. We've closed some beginner and intermediate issues. We are continuously working to get more issues posted. So if you did go on there and you didn't see anything, always check back again. We are trying to post them as they are coming. If anyone would like to post issues for the Python SDK, we would greatly appreciate your help. I thought Monty was going to be here. I don't know. She did not make it. But she and I have been working as well as Sophie. We are pushing that initiative through for the Python SDK. But other than that, I don't believe there was anything quite outstanding. Let me double check. Just make sure. Nope. I think we're good. We are seeing the interest in that growing quite nicely. We're super happy about that. So we are excited to continue this initiative to the other SDKs. But that was it for me. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Angie. Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, I've been thinking I'm gonna head over to the Python SDK and hopefully start helping out a little bit more with good first issues and stuff like that. So hope that can alleviate some of your stress and workload. Cool. Yeah, again, that's all we had on the agenda. Did anyone have any other topics that they want to talk about or bring up? Yeah, Hendrik.
Hey, so I'm a little bit late, and when I came, you already talked about getting away from local node to solo as an development dependency. I assume that is regarding GitHub Actions and the CI tasks to run the tests automatically against solo. Is that correct?
I think it's that, and then also updating READMEs that may still reference local node or any other
Yeah.
documentation in the repos. Yep.
Yeah, because there I have some information. I was in a meeting with Nathan and the other people from Solo, and they since I, maybe since a week or whatever, they now have like Solo in a state where it's really easy to use. So you can now finally install Solo and all of its dependencies, so everything Solo needs to run by npx or by homebrew. Both seems to work now, and they created two special commands once Solo is installed to set up a Solo network with just one node that is perfect for running tests against it, and a second command to throw all that away. They are currently working on the documentation for it, but once that is done and available, I think the best is that we integrate that into our documentations for the SDKs to have really like even on a local machine, people use Solo with a super easy like two command way to run unit tests and do not depend on, for example, Hedera testnet to do so.
So you're saying you want the SDK documentation to specify these easy one line, two line solo commands to.
Yeah, so my wish would be to have that in every SDK documentation. Like if you want to build and test the SDK locally, just do this. And then you can link to the bigger solo documentation because in the solo documentation, and that was a discussion we had. In the Solo documentation, you have this documentation how to run Solo against a remote Kubernetes, how to run Solo with this, how to run Solo with that. But for this specific use case, you can have a very short documentation that does exactly what you need with two easy commands. And I think that's a huge benefit for people outside of our ecosystem if they want to try something. From my point of view, that should even be the default way for app developers to test their stuff. But I think we can start with the SDK as a kind of, like eat your own dog food.
So, I guess a little bit off topic, but actually, Henrik, I've actually asked the solo team to remove those quick start things because I don't think it's that easy yet. Yes, there is a quick start, but there's actually a lot of prerequisites. And if most users, particularly users with 16 gigabyte laptops, if they try that quick start routine, they might not have a very good experience if they don't first read the prerequisites of Docker and all that stuff. Also, it doesn't work on Windows. So I've been telling the team that they should not, at this stage, maybe in the future we can do quick start, but it's not as a product, not ready for that yet. We probably need people to go to a documentation page and particularly read prerequisites and what their dependencies are they need to install Solo before they do that quick start.
When have you talked with them about it?
I mean, I had a conversation with Pranali like last week, like Thursday, Wednesday,
Okay,
Thursday.
okay. Then we more or less on the same state because that was really like, oh, they have news on that since 1 week or whatever. I just wanted to make sure we talk about the same. Yeah, okay. I had no idea about Windows. Understand that. That must made clear that this is a problem. But on the other hand, if I understood it correctly, the only thing you need on a machine is Docker. And I would say for developers, Docker in combination with something like NPX are super generic tools that a developer should know and should be able to use. And on the other hand, I agree with you that you need a machine that has enough power. But I mean, from my point of view, it's better to have that and maybe make clear, hey, that takes a lot of resources and currently only working on Unix-based machines like Mac or Linux is better than having nothing or doing one thing with Solo and the other thing with local node as an example.
Yeah, I don't know if you were I think you joined late. We just had the conversation. I mean, I definitely agree
Oh, okay,
that
yeah, yeah.
within all the SDK repos that we switch them over to reference them to use Solo. I'm just saying like we should not be at this stage because I don't know when the last time you installed Solo. The last time I installed Solo, like I had to use a very exact version of I forget what it was,
Yeah, that
npm or
was
something
horrible.
like.
Yeah, that was
No, no,
horrible.
I don't think that's improved. So like
Ah, okay.
I don't think it's as easy as what you're. I mean, I wish it was as easy as you're saying. I don't think it's as easy as you're saying.
My problem is that I played so much with Solo on my machine already that I cannot test my machine to see how easy it is. What I wanted to do is setting up a virtual machine with a plain Ubuntu and then try those commands in that virtual machine and see where I end. Maybe you are right. And that is what they told me that now everything is super easy since like 2 or 3 weeks. So maybe you're right
Yeah.
and you still need a specific version and this and that. Then I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I just think they need to do more user testing.
Yeah.
I think they test on their own machines, but it's not very representative. So yeah, something I've been pushing on is like, so yeah, okay, I don't want to distract on this meeting, but like, yeah, I mean, I'm all for quick start. I just don't think that product is in the position of, so in the SDK docs, I'd rather just say, yes, we for local testing, please use Solo, and here is the Solo getting started page, and just have them go to that page and not
Okay.
that's the only thing I'm pushing back on is like don't
Yeah.
tell them to run the quick start first just direct them to go at this stage of the product just direct them to go to the Solo getting started page.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense to me. Let's do it iterative. And I agree with you. So especially when I hear your concerns, we should check that out. Agree. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna say too, is I think Solo just needs to improve their documentation to have, something at the top just says like, all right, if you're just trying to get started, here's the one or two commands, here we go, and then we can just point to that. And uh yeah, SDKs can just point to that documentation. But also like in their documentation, they should also state like if something's not working on Windows correctly, or people or they need to specify exactly, this works for Windows or Mac, Linux, whatever, but not Windows yet. So people aren't, trying things and then getting confused as to why it's not working.
By the way, I think you're missing one key point that we had created the so action that I think the DevOps guys and Georgie made. So it's incredibly easy to implement in the CI. But yeah, if you want to test the SDK locally, it's a bit of a pain because of so. But even then, if someone wants to test locally, they can run the local node. But yeah,
Yeah, for JSDK, it's now I've made it intuitive, so it's a simple startup script with one-liner that runs the required commands for the solo setup for the SDK integration tests that are running in the CI. Mainly the complication comes from the fact that Solo is doesn't create accounts, so you need to like create a regular ACDSA account, for example, so that the tests can be run because most of the tests in our SDKs are for the regular users. With the solo startup script, you have only the Genesis account, so you need some startup script that would that would create this account, then extract the credentials of this account and write them to env. And basically, I've made this abstraction, so this is created when this script is started. But yeah, that needs to be somehow adopted in other SDKs as well. I'm not sure actually what are the actual things this easy startup script what does does this create an account, for example? Is it flexible? Can we change some things in the setup? Because for our setups, we have tests that require 2 nodes, for example, for the dynamic address book tests. And yeah, we tweak some things like enabling, we need to enable the gRPC proxy for the integration tests in web environment in JavaScript.
Yeah, so that's super interesting. Like, no, the solo one shot just creates a single node network. So that's an area where it sounds like we actually have conflict. I mean, this is a great point. Like, I didn't realize. So I didn't know. So for SDK tests, it requires 2 nodes
And
because it's
mirror
doing
node.
what? Like, oh, a mirror node. Oh, it creates a mirror node. Yes.
Well, I think this is kind of why we made the solo action, right? Because it can kind of consolidate all this extra setup into just one thing that the SDK CI can pull, and it just kind of does it all for them. I know we just added dual mode like to that, like I don't know, like a month, 2 months ago, to support this dynamic address book testing.
Yeah, and it's pretty stable. Doesn't have any issues. There are some issues
Hmm.
when the solo team decide to do some breaking changes, and we have to update the action. But other than that, the solo action is pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah, no, solo action is definitely easier than running it locally. I've had to do the same thing. I have like my own script of yeah, like it creates the accounts, and then yeah, you have to like set the credentials right so that so it matches your env. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I haven't had any issues running it now that I have a script that kind of does it all for me. But maybe that's something the solo team like could support in their own repo. Just kind of have like an easy startup script of some kind, or like a script that you can like kind of configure, or just add the configuration options to the one shot command.
Well, so I just want to capture this. I think it's a great point. So today they have the easy start script, which sets up a full network with a single node. I think what I'm hearing is what would be nice is that script additionally like created the Genesis account and exported it. Is that what's missing today from what's supported today in their script versus what's needed?
Actually, the Genesis account is created. We need additional regular account.
Yeah, we do our
Okay,
testing with non-admin accounts, so we
sure,
don't
sure.
use
So
the.
you need the script to create the first account on the network, the first real account.
Yeah.
Okay.
With hopefully like a consistent key too, so that we don't have to keep changing keys in our env file.
And also huge balance, like maybe like 10,000 HBars.
Yeah.
Even more actually, if they can make it like
It's like it'd be like a
100.
million.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, as much as possible.
As well.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we can't use the admin account because it keeps the fee part. So yeah, if we can have another account that has a huge balance.
So,
If it,
so I think my
oh,
request, I mean, this sounds like a good idea, but I don't want to get lost in this meeting. Can one of the line chain folks, can you just go create this issue or yeah, just create this as an issue in the solo repo just so we capture it?
okay.
Thank you.
Quick thing actually that I just thought of, slightly going off topic, but still related to solo. Angie. So I've noticed when I've been making like beginner intermediate issues for the repos, I've kind of just defaulted to intermediate for any issue that requires like solo or like TCK to test. Like basically anything that requires like another like testing tool or network. I've just defaulted those to intermediate because I don't think we would want someone working on a beginner issue to have to try and set up or go through the setup of a like a solo environment or the TCK. Are you kind of aligned on that with me, or do you have other opinions?
Yeah, Sophie and I, we are aligned with you on that one. We were talking about that the other day, because I had made an issue and I think I labeled it as a beginner, but it involved a little bit of testing. So we kind of felt that any issues involving testing, any additional use of tools, related dependencies, anything beyond that nature should be just classified as intermediate and above, because at that point we feel that they have enough background knowledge from completing the good first issue and the beginner issue to take on a more complex task such as testing. So in that, yeah, we're aligned with you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still fine with having beginner issues that, involve writing like maybe a unit test or two, but anything like integration, like end to end, anything that requires solo or TCK, I just lean immediate or intermediate immediately.
Yeah, that's fine. Unit tests are one of those things. They're simple in a sense and enough that it's a good foundational practice for contributors to learn to write them, to understand them and stuff like that. So when it comes to unit testing, I think I can't speak for Sophie. I do want to say, however, that for unit testing in general, it can be considered a beginner issue, but yeah, for anything integration, anything end-to-end testing like that is intermediate and above.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we want to specify those in the guidelines then, just to
Yeah.
have it like explicit somewhere.
Yeah, not a problem. I'll let her know and we can have that corrected.
Great. Okay, any other topics? Questions, concerns, queries?
My topic wasn't related to anything in particular. Just wanted to make a quick mention that we have the Hiero website community call in 10 minutes. So if anybody is available, would like to join, please feel free to attend. We always love to have new joiners and we always love to hear new feedback, especially if you're using the site, testing it, developing, whatever it be. Always happy to have you.
Fantastic. All right. Thanks for joining, everyone. Give you 10 minutes back. Uh, have a good day. See ya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.